All right, hello. Today I'm gonna be doing my first impressions of freelancing. I'm just gonna give some basic information about what I've been doing for the past month, um, some of the pros, some of the cons, and then kind of just give you a basic conclusion about how I feel about it right now. Um, so let's dive into it. So I've been freelancing for 1 month now. I think I started some like on March 16th or so. I've had one official contract during this time. Um, and during this contract, I'm using Twilio, Node.js, and a handful of other small things to make my projects. Um, so some people may not want to work from home. They prefer the social aspect of going into an office, and I agree with that in some sense. I think it's important to have social interaction daily. Um, However, I currently live at home with my parents and my brother, so um, I don't have a super lack of social interaction daily. And more importantly than that, it is we're in the middle of the COVID outbreak, so um, that's not really socializing isn't really even an option in the first place. So working from home in a freelance capacity is sort of the perfect situation right now. Um, Additionally, I get to pick my own hours. Um, if I want to work 10 hours one day and then 2 the next, I can do that as well. I don't actually work. I've never actually done that, but um, anyways, another pro, um, the money. The money is okay. Um, I'm making about like $30 an hour right now, which is less than I would at like a more corporate job, traditional 9 to 5 programming job, but it's still a pretty solid rate, especially for the most important thing to consider is that I am a brand new freelancer with no credibility, no portfolio of what I've done in the freelance industry. So I'm not gonna get the highest paying jobs right out of the gate. So moving into some of the cons of freelancing so far. One big con is there is no social element to freelancing, right? So if I did want to go into an office and see the coworkers or whatever, that isn't even an option. So um, if you get a lot of your social interaction from work, then freelancing um, will be a little problematic in that area. So the last thing, which has probably been the biggest, most noticeable con so far, is less consistent work. Some days I'll have a lot to work on, and I can spend 3 or 4 hours doing interesting work, productive work, and then other days my client will we'll have a meeting, and at the end he'll say something like, "Oh yeah, like I don't have enough funds right now to pay you basically. So try to limit your hours for the next 3 days, 4 days." And then it's like, whoa, okay. And that's happened once, maybe twice in the past month, where I've had just a few days of, doing my own, working on my own stuff um, instead of for him. So that's you're somewhat at the mercy of your client and their financial situation, um, their uh, judgment for how much you should be working. So it's a bit of a I don't know. It's not a huge weight on my mind just because again, my financial situation is really stable at the moment. But if I was, you know, living on an apartment, uh, depending on my check every month, then that would probably become a much more serious thing of not having consistent work. So that's definitely something to consider. Overall, I'm very happy with the arrangement. You know, I get to do work, I get to do interesting work, and I get to choose how much of it I do. Um, so there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of um, work if I choose to work more or apply to a bunch of jobs on the freelancing site. Um, so overall, it's a very positive thing, and I'm going to try to do a lot more of it in the next few months, probably. Um, so yeah, overall, very happy, and yeah, if anybody is considering freelancing for in whatever field they're in, I would highly recommend giving it a shot. So yeah.